Angie.
And I'm Vivian Darkblue.
And we're here today to talk about the American dream.
In today's age, the dream has come to mean that one may achieve prosperity no matter one's life situation.
Coined in 1931 by James Truslow Adams in his book, Epic America, he states, "The dream of a land in which life should be better and richer and fuller for every man, with opportunity for each according to his ability or achievement."
To some, that may mean owning a house in a suburban neighborhood surrounded by a white picket fence.
Or becomes a broad term for any social or financial goal a person in America may have.
Since its conception, there have been critics that believe that there's never been such a thing, and if there ever was, it has since become corrupt.
We're here to figure out if it's true.
Now, to begin, we interviewed Mr. Jay Gatsby of West Egg on what he thinks of the dream. I tried to achieve this goal, and it seemed achievable. But then, what do I find? Daisy never comes back, and I'm shot in my designer swim trunks, Ralph Lauren, in my too expensive swimming pool, overlooked by my too expensive home. I don't know what I would have done if I had not died. I didn't have a purpose anymore. Daisy was my purpose. And then no one shows up at my funeral? I invited droves of people over every Saturday, and no one felt me important enough to honor at my funeral? There was no point, really. The goal was never attainable. I think Daisy knew she would end up with Tom in the end no matter what. It's just, we were at the heart of that corrupt 1920s society, and we didn't know any better. Now I'm dead. Such great looks, Scott.
But I'm fine, you know, I don't care, I'm fine.
Oh, purposes. Don't wanna be all purposes.
Wow, interesting stuff.
Again, I'm Martha Stewart.
And I'm Rick Perry. Mr. Gatsby had first-hand dealings with the so-called American dream, and he obviously does not have good feelings about it.
And now to our Asian Latino correspondent out in the field today, Veronica Corningstone, who interviewed Mr. Tom Wingfeld of St. Louis about his ideas on the dream.
Wingfeld, hi, I'm Veronica Corningstone with the Channel 4 News. You left your home in Oak Hurry, and you left your mother and your sister. What has your life been like since then?
It has been a downward spiral. Well, I left home to attain my dream of fame and fortune, a happy, successful life, and it never happened.
Why? Were there any obstacles?
Financial difficulties. I can't pay for anything, and I have no home.
That dream you were chasing, what of it? Do you still believe in it? Are you still
No,
going
I
after
don't
it?
believe I could ever attain my dream, the American dream. Fame and
What is
fortune,
what was
success.
Was that what the American dream was to you?
To me, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And what do you think of success? Is there any downfall to it?
I think for some it may go to their head. It may become a little tricky to handle.
So what do you now think of the American dream?
It doesn't exist. It does not exist.
And we're back. I'm Karl Marx.
And I'm Nicki Minaj.
Now that we've gotten a picture of the antiquated ideals of the American dream, it's time to take a contemporary approach.
We have you live at the controversial movement Occupy Wall Street with our pasty correspondents Carrot Top and Jillian Michaels.
Well, I've been involved with the occupation since October 1st. What we hope to accomplish is more direct democracy for the people so that our votes count for more than corporate donations. We also hope for economic justice in our society. The dream was liberty, to not be oppressed like they were in Europe. The dream was that you could earn your way in the world and not be subject to the manipulations and ravages of power. Getting rich is a great thing. We're not against a society where some people might have money. That's great. but we believe that other people can still do well. That, to me, that would be the dream. Security. I do believe it's attainable. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not completely gone yet either, by the way, but it's in trouble. I think it's in more trouble than people know.
Till broad daylight, we're gonna occupy around the clock tonight.
American dream was an illusion. You could own a house, have a nice car change your car every 4 years, and have a good job. That was the American dream. America doesn't love Americans because the corporations took the jobs away and gave it to China. So it's a game of who wants a job today, and we control what job you want. You can't find a job, and now you are a slave of the American dream. I love this country. This country, what motivates me with this country, this is the only country where you can actually see injustice and actually make it change by voting and doing things non-violently and making this country only better. This country is a great country, but it could be a better country.
Being able to pursue happiness, you know, that is the American dream. Like whatever your pursuit of happiness is your American dream. Right now, the pursuit of happiness is being blocked by economic just disparity. And I think it's very obtainable if we all wake up to it. It's the Enlightenment. It's people at the Occupy movements that are out there giving information and spreading information throughout their communities that's going to waken up America to all these grievances.
And we're back. I'm Tierney Rosen.
And I'm Shakira.
We had our pasty correspondents travel to Westwood, New Jersey to hear the opinions of the average person in our continuing endeavors to find out the truth behind the American dream.
Let's see what they had to find.
The American dream is that which can be accomplished here in America as opposed to elsewhere in the world. Now, that's coming from the perspective of someone who is an American by choice, not by birth. Those of us, again, who become Americans by choice actually believe that if we can't make it here, you're not going to make it anywhere. An idea, it's an abstraction, and we all use the opportunities that the Constitution affords us in the confines of America to do what we will, what we can, or would we dare, if I might be so bold, given what our skills are and what our limits are to a certain extent. For me, it was to get a college degree. I'm the first person in my family not to just have a college degree, I have a master's degree. I have advanced studies. No one else in my family did it. So I guess if you want to embody it, something concrete, that's my American dream. For me, it was to not be my mother. My mother is an old-world woman where literally my father has to tell her what to do. And growing up, I'm like, no, Sarah, no, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So my American dream, it was to be in a place where I can actually do that and be my own person. The only people who I hear complaining about the American dream are people who probably don't have a very good definition of what America is or what a dream is. For the rest of us who actually figured out what it is, no one sits around wondering whether or not the American dream is alive or well because we're living it. I reject the notion that our generation is not going to do any better. I don't know that that's possible. If that were the case for the 230 some years that we've been a country, then there was no American dream, there was no advancement. And clearly history would prove otherwise. Well, you're looking at that group of people called the Lost Generation for a reason. I mean, they went to find themselves in Europe and ended up in wars that are totally destructive. So did that shape their idea of the American dream? Perhaps so, but look at what happened at the end of that whole period. Europe was in destruction, and the Marshall Plan saves Europe. I'm sorry, in case you do not know, the Marshall Plan was America. The American dream was exported and saved the ash heap that was the end of World War II. But again, if you're going through self-analysis, you say, okay, this is what I want to do. There ain't no place better than this place to make it.
What constitutes the American dream is not easily compromised, evidenced by our interviews. What we have come to conclude is that the American dream is not a collective notion. It can't be pigeonholed.
The American dream is tailored to each individual and what they believe that it is. It's their ideas. For example, a white-collar worker probably has a different American dream than an immigrant does.
And on why the American dream is viewed optimistically and pessimistically, that is totally based on the individual, based on personal outlook, upbringing, and environment.
Someone in a low-income family with an optimistic outlook might want something better for themselves and to make something better of their lives. But someone in the same situation with a pessimistic outlook might think that they can't get out of their situation and will never have anything better.
A person like Gatsby, who is pessimistic, whose life was affected by the First World War, may have had affected his views on the American dream. Once hopeful, he grew to have contempt towards that hope that ultimately led to his demise. Obviously, we don't have all the same views on the American dream because there's no way to narrow it down into one definition.
Since we can't give you a proper definition of it, you have to decide yourself.
You say you want a revolution.
Death to the multi-party systems in USA. Down with the Tea Party in USA. Down with the Independent Party in USA. Who needs Republican and Democratic Party? We can decide if we're going to make war, yay or nay. Remember, a corporation and a government is run by real people, not imaginary people. And we're talking about accountability here. They turn a no, a holy no, into a yes. Shame on these bastards. We should have Blair here too from England. The English yoke. We should eliminate the English yoke from this nation altogether. We should abolish theocracy and monarchy off the face of the planet Earth. Anyway, we're Americans.
You say you got a real solution.